Hello, my name is Jimmy Clark. I'm sure many of you know my better half, Terry. We've been with Church Venture since day one. We're primarily involved in worship, supporting production, tech, and drama. When Carrie first extended the invitation to join the leadership team, spent a lot of time in thought and prayer, and it became very clear that God was speaking to me through that invitation. I am beyond excited about being a part of this group. I'm honored to be able to serve you in this new role, and I see this as an excellent opportunity for us to grow Church Venture and serve this community.
Hi, I'm Bev Massey. I'm married to Tim Massey, and we have been part of Church Venture for about the past 3 to 4 years. We've both been involved with Joshua's Place and a few other of the mission things that the church has offered. We love the spirit of this church, and I was privileged to have the opportunity to audit the books of the church for 2017 with a great outcome. This church is a healthy church the way it's run, and so I was asked to be on the leadership team, and I'm hoping that it gives me the opportunity to help our church grow and continue in our mission.
Hi, my name is Todd Overturf, and I am married to the wonderful and talented Ann Overturf. Here at Church Venture, I've been involved in lots of different activities, including helping Ann with the youth group. I'm also currently in a leadership role for our hospitality ministry, including the Brood Awakenings coffee shop, and then also have been involved with several different people on making facilities renovations. So as we created the Brood Awakening space, or as we enhanced the front of our worship space with the pallet walls, or as we remodeled our bathrooms, I worked with lots of different people to help make that happen. When I was approached to be on the leadership team here at Church Venture, I wanted to take the opportunity to do that so that I could continue to give to God's ministry here at church, to help others, and to use my skills to the best of my abilities.
Hi, I'm Heather Cheney. I'm married to Chris Cheney, who's the head of our finance team here at Church Venture. I have been honored to be part of the children's ministries team since we started meeting in Great Wolf Lodge in 2014. And I am passionate about kids in church, and I was honored to be asked to be on the leadership team, and I just hope that God will use me in this role and expand this church and let everybody else know what a wonderful place this is to be.
Hey, my name is Carrie Thrush. I'm married to Betsy, and we've got 2 kids, Z and L. I'm the pastor here at Church Venture, and it was obvious. It's time to expand our leadership team. It's time to expand leadership from just 1 or 2 people to a group of people. And this group of folks that we've got are going to be a fantastic group to be a leadership team. We have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to be a church that loves God and loves people and changes lives in this community. I am very excited because we've got an opportunity. In 2015, when our church name changed and became Church Venture, there were a handful of folks who were concerned about that. They said, it sounds like it's risky to be at our church, or you have to take a risk to be involved in Church Venture. And the more I think about that, the more I like that. We ought to be a church that takes risks. We ought to be a church that loves on people in our community in a way that is risky, that we absolutely put ourselves out there. And so we've got a vision for what 2019 can look like here at Church Venture. And it includes risk because we have an opportunity.
At Church Venture, we have an opportunity for growth. We have a great facility. We have a great worship pastor in Corey. And we even enjoy Carrie's sermons. And we have all the pieces, except there are so many people who don't know we are here. And we can all contribute to the growth of this church by just letting folks know what an inspiring place this is to be. This is a great place for families. It's a great place for kids. Carrie baptized 11 kids in this past year. It was a fantastic Sunday, and it was inspiring, and it was humbling that a church that averages about 90 folks on a Sunday, that many kids were brought to Christ. And so our goal is to have an average Sunday of at least 150 people, and we can do that if we all just invite somebody, take a chance, go out on a limb and just invite somebody, because we should be sharing what a great facility and a great church and such a great congregation that we have.
At Church Venture, we have an opportunity to serve. There are two very healthy organizations that we have partnered with at Church Venture. First is Joshua's Place. The original location for Joshua's Place is in South Lebanon. They have a great tagline: "Hope is why we exist." They serve those that are in need in powerful ways, and they are ready to use your gifts and talents. Recently, they opened up a second location in the Little Miami School District. Are you willing to tutor school kids, help with the food pantry, help adults organize their finances, or help with the summer program? Joshua's Place can be a perfect fit for those willing to serve. The second opportunity for serving is Safe Families. Church Venture is in the process of becoming a Safe Families church. Safe Families is a faith-based short-term foster care ministry that does not involve the state or child protective services. There are opportunities to host a child in your home for a short-term stay. You could help coach the host family as well as the family who is working towards recuperation and gaining back their son or daughter. There are other opportunities for you to serve and support the host family by providing meals, transportation, or even needed items such as clothes and equipment. Church Venture is positioned to help change lives in 2019. We have an opportunity for serving.
This past summer, the youth group took 19 youth ages 6th grade to 12th grade on a mission trip to North Carolina. We collected $8,000 in just 3 weeks to help support that trip. And if you missed the Youth Sunday in August, you missed an absolutely special morning. Just to hear those youth share their faith journey with us was really something extraordinary. And we thank Ann Overturf for her leadership in this wonderful ministry. Our youth meet twice a month on Sunday afternoons. If you are a student or an adult who would like to get involved, just connect with Ann. And Kid Venture is our ministry with children who are newborns through 5th grade here at Church Venture. In the past, Kid Venture has only met on Sunday morning opportunities during worship. But currently there are plans in the works for an event in November for both parents and children. We have been partnering with Strive Academy for Parents' Night Out this fall. In 2019, it is time to hire a children's ministry leader for our church. And also, if any of you out there would like to help with teaching Sunday school, we'd love to have you. We have an opportunity for youth and children here at Church Venture in 2019.
At Church Venture, we also have the opportunity to work on some other really exciting stuff like lease renewals. Now, what can be more exciting than renewing our lease for this space? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Come on. So here's how it works. Each year, we sign a 12-month lease with our landlord to renew our space here. As we make our monthly payments, which are approximately $6,400, that money goes toward our rent as well as our fair share of the common area maintenance expense for the strip mall. As part of our lease renewal, one of the things that the landlord requires is that we have co-signers or guarantors who are willing to put their name on the line for the lease along with the actual church body itself. It's a pretty big commitment, and in the past we've had anywhere from 3 to 5 families who have been willing to put their name on the line in that lease. We'll be looking for that same thing to happen this upcoming year when we renew our lease in the November-December timeframe. And as we do that, we'll have a special part of the worship service where we pray over those people and are thankful for the commitment that they're able to make to the ministry here at Church Venture. In 2019, we also will have the opportunity to identify a sublease partner. and we've done that in the past, and we want to do that again here in the future. So if you know of anyone who is running an existing business that they would like to move into a space like what we have here and share in our space with us, that would be great. It could be a dance studio or a yoga studio or a karate dojo, whatever it might be. If there's a business or an individual that could use some of the space that we have here, we would love to collaborate with them. If you know of someone who is in such a position, let us know. We can make contact with them and work together to try to make an arrangement work for them and for us where they can use the space, and then they can also help us defray some of our monthly cost. I am confident that we'll find that sublease partner in 2019 as we work to move forward in our ministry here at Church Venture.
This is Paul Nickerson. I'm your coach at Church Venture, and I'm very excited about what's going on at your church. You have a great plan for reaching new people, and I hope and encourage you in the days ahead to invite people, bring them along with you, and grow Church Venture so it can be a blessing to many, many people. Have a great Sunday.
In the spring of 2018, we realized that we needed some outside help, and we found Coach Paul Nickerson. He specializes in teaching churches how to reach new people. And that's exactly what he did. He came here on the first weekend of June and led a seminar on how Church Venture can reach new people. He's a fantastic resource. We collected about 30 people on that weekend to listen to Paul, and then we've got about 15 people who continue to work with Paul, and he gave us a 3-step process.
The first thing we need to do is to put energy into reintroducing our church to the community. This means for us to be present at and participating in community events where we can let people know that Church Venture is here for them, that we exist, and that we want to develop deeper relationships with them through Christ. We've started that process by participating in the Little Miami Food Truck Rally, and we'll also participate in the South Lebanon Trunk or Treat event at the end of October. But what we need is for you as members of the congregation to make us aware of other opportunities where we can participate in events out in the community. Whether it's in the Little Miami area, Kings, Loveland, Lebanon area, wherever it is, let us know about potential opportunities where we can go out and make connections with the community and develop relationships with people. We need you to help us in that way, and we also need you to help us by actually participating in those events and staffing the booths that we may have there. So work with us, let's partner together and go out and reintroduce our church to the community.
So step 1 was to reintroduce the Church Venture to the community. Step 2, Paul really put the screws to both Corey and I, and he asked us, would we step up in our networking in the community? So he has called on us to be in the community in very purposeful ways. I have taken my little sign, free prayer, and I've gone to coffee shops, I've gone to the Kroger. I've already the chaplain of Hamilton Township, but I've put more energy and effort into actually reaching out and making connections with the people at the township building and the fire chief and the police chief. It's just a process of finding opportunities to get my eyes up, to be looking around in the community for people who I can interact with. You are also invited to network and be able to say, would you come kick the tires and try Church Venture out? See what it's all about. Maybe there's something there for you. The other thing Paul has challenged us on is, do you have a 10 to 15 second elevator pitch on what you would tell people about Church Venture? I love going to Church Venture. The music's fantastic, the pastor's okay, but the people there are absolutely incredible to worship with. It makes my week completely different to be in worship at Church Venture. Come check it out. Maybe it's something you would like. A script like that would be something you could say to somebody when you invite somebody to church.
The third step that Paul Nickerson suggested for us is to be a church that just is an inviting place to be. And 80% of people who come to church do so because somebody has specifically asked them to be there. So it's very rare that somebody drives by this shopping center and says, oh, I think I see a little sign that says Church Venture over there. I think that's where I need to go on Sunday morning. So it takes somebody really reaching out and making that personal invitation and then saying, you know, I'll meet you there Sunday, maybe we can go out to eat afterwards, but I really would love to have you come and experience what worship is like at Church Venture. Another suggestion he has is we ought to invite people and do normal things that normal people do. You know, if you have a group that likes to watch the Bengals game together, if you have a group that likes to get together and have a glass of wine, perhaps invite somebody new to come and have some of our Church Venture friends there as well. Take a risk, ask them, tell them, reach out to that person who sits next to you at work and say, I attend a really awesome place. It makes my whole week to be at Church Venture, and I'd love you to be part of that with me.
So what you just heard was the coaches team report. It's what we've been learning about the past few months since June, and it's what we're trying to implement, and we want everybody in the church to know those 3 steps. Number 1, we need to reintroduce Church Venture to our community. Number 2, we need to be about the business of networking, making connections with people, no matter where you are. And number 3, we need to be a church that is normal and at the same time invites people to Sunday worship. I think those are 3 things we can absolutely do. As part of this annual Church Venture gathering, we also wanted to talk about the church finances. We want to make sure everyone in the church is on the absolute same page about where Church Venture is financially.
We have 4 great people on the finance team, and they all have individual duties, so that's totally appropriate that there's separation of duties. Carrie never spends a dime, and that's probably a good thing because he'd probably have a convertible by now.
I talk about finances with church folks at Church Venture on a very regular basis. And the one thing that comes up again and again and again is the type of congregation that we have. We have a congregation full of generous people. A gathering like this, when we get everybody together to look at where we are as a church, it's a fantastic opportunity to remember we have an opportunity to be a generous church. A church that gives beyond what others would expect, a church that gives in response to what God is doing in our lives, a church that is purposefully generous.
You know, I learned about regular giving at church from watching my parents. Whether we were in church that week or not, I know my parents had a check for every week that went to church. It was just part of the way we did things because we were committed to our church. They were committed to our church. And as you look at these numbers, remember that some faithful giver, probably you at one point, gave money to this church to not just keep the lights on and pay for our nice video equipment and pay Carrie's salary, but also the intangible things that maybe you aren't seeing. The curriculum offered to our Kid Venture people that is probably touching kids in ways we don't even know. I mentioned the 11 kids that were baptized this past year. You know, you can't put a dollar figure on what happens in this church in instances like that. But youth group trips, things we do with Joshua's Place, the different things that we've done with different agencies throughout the years. Your generosity has enabled us to be able to do these things and to have these facilities. So as you look at these numbers, remember when you give from your heart, and it's something that everybody should pray about, but as you give, and if you can give regularly, it can help our church finances and allow us to continue to reach people. I mean, we're in the business of telling people about Christ, and so I would encourage you to pray about what you think you can do with your finances to help our church. And we appreciate every dollar that everybody gives.
I couldn't have said that any better, Bev. The only thing I have to add is a challenge. an opportunity to be a generous church. And so the challenge is to consider whether or not you are willing and able to give more in 2019 than you did in 2018. I love this leadership team, and we have a fantastic future ahead of us. We have an opportunity to continue to be a fantastic church.
We are your church. We pray, revive this earth.